Good morning, everybody. I'm Eureka John. You are at Eureka Street Crypto, broadcasting live from Leander, Texas. On Saturday morning, it is 6:53 in the morning. It is October 23rd, 2021. And yeah, this is my video blog. I do this every day. Good, bad, and ugly. I don't edit it, and I talk about whatever's on my mind about crypto that day, whatever I've read the day before, whatever podcasts I've listened to, whatever information I've learned. I try to externalize that information and articulate it through this show, and it helps me to solidify and concretize. How do you say that? What I've learned, because I think that if you can speak about something, then you've learned it on a whole other level. And still, even then, yeah, I find myself, with my foot in my mouth and saying completely wrong things on this show. But this is all practice. This is just my discipline and my art for me to try to figure all this stuff out. And I love broadcasting and podcasting and radio communications and all that. I was that type of kid who would make mixtapes and try to cut out the DJ and stuff, and by putting tape over the blank over an already made tape, and just yeah, that's how old I am. Anyway, yeah, so I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not shilling anything. I'm not your teacher, and I'm not your financial advisor. Just a dude with a camera talking about some crypto stuff. And I do this in the morning because I do this before my family wakes up. Generally on the weekends, I sleep in a little more, but I was already up. I was tired. It was a long week. But okay, so let's look at some CoinGecko here and see what we have in store. We have Bitcoin. Hold on, let me refresh this page. Let's see here. Somebody on YouTube. I broadcast this on float.app too. flote.app. Then I upload it to YouTube and Odyssey and BitChute later. So give a thumbs up or subscribe. It helps the algorithm or whatever. But I'm not really out trying to hawk for followers and subscribers. It's not really what it's about. But I guess it does help. Somebody suggested some other coin market type of platform on the YouTube comments. I can't remember what it is. Well, let me go in there real quick and see what it is. But CoinGecko so far is my favorite. They say that coin market cap kind of gatekeeps, which is true. CoinGecko gatekeeps too. Now, if you talk about it, because I mean, for instance, not that I love this cryptocurrency, but I think each cryptocurrency should be given, I guess, its own platform. If it does have a decent market cap and it's not just some silly micro cap, but like Hex, for instance, I don't love Hex, and the Hex army or whatever they are, the Hexicans, they're a little overwhelming and overbearing with their enthusiasm, and but they deserve to be heard. And apparently, Hex on the market cap is like number 3. I mean, I don't know, it's debatable, but CoinGecko does not show Hex really at all with any type of market cap level, but CoinCodex shows it as number 3. So it just shows, or Coin Paprika, whichever one. But it just shows you that there's a lot of different opinions out there, and even objective sources can still be pretty biased. And I mean, the same thing goes for our modern day news channels, mainstream news channels. That's why I don't listen to mainstream news to get all my information. I like to get all different types of sources of information, because mainstream news nowadays is just purely propaganda. Not saying that CoinGecko is purely propaganda, but just these little subtle differences between all of them shows some signs of gatekeeping, especially when they don't mention a prominent token such as Hex, even though a lot of people say Hex is not legitimate. I mean, it has a community. It has some kind of working mechanisms. I think that its smart contracts are open and open source for available for everybody to see. So, regardless of whether I think their community is annoying, they should still be listed. And anyway, that being said, I didn't want to really spend any time talking about all that. Let's go down here. Bitcoin $61,791.81. Ethereum $4,060.68. Binance Coin $483.94. Tether's $1. Ooh, moving on up. Actually, it's a stable coin. So, the fact that it's a little more expensive tells me that a lot of people have been buying into crypto and wait, no. Buying stable coins, so cashing out on their cryptos. Yeah, they've been cashing out on their cryptos, so the stable coin gets slightly off peg and it's a little higher. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's right. I can never fully articulate that concept. Cardano is at $2.17. Solana is at 202.95. XRP is $1.10. Polkadot is 44.49. USDC, another stablecoin, also at $1.01. Dogecoin is 24 cents. Terra is 42.78. Avalanche 66.52. I'm actually gonna buy some Avalanche today. And then Chainlink is $30.94. Chainlink, man, finally on the up and up again. It does that, it'll go around for a while and kind of act like almost a stable coin, and then it will just like shoot up, and everybody will be all like super hardcore enthusiastic about it. And then it'll drop down about like halfway, and then it'll sit there for a while at that same place. And I've been watching Chainlink do this since it was like at $1.50. So, I mean, I haven't bought Chainlink in a while, but the last time I bought Chainlink, I believe it was like $8. So I think I'm doing okay with Chainlink. Shiba Inu, man, I saw some like North Carolina congressperson or something like has Shiba Inu as his banner, and like he's just like barking hard against an OG Twitter guy, calling him a little biatch and stuff like that because the guy was criticizing Shiba Inu. I'm like, man, a congressperson barking about some meme coin about how cool it is. I don't know about that, man. Good evening, Liquidity. Okay, stable coins are at $1. Lame. See, there's a little lag between me talking and then what you see. So, and that's not intentional. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the weeds about this congressperson, completely fully endorsing Shiba Inu as a crypto expert on his campaign. I wouldn't recommend any meme coin to anybody entering in the crypto space, especially with such a public platform as a congressperson. It just doesn't seem right because, meme coins like Doge and Shiba is just purely gambling, and that's it. And if you're a politician with a platform talking about these meme coins and talking about how amazing they are for the fundamentals of crypto and a sound investment, man, I just I don't know, it just doesn't sit right. Anyway, Uniswap $26, Litecoin $194.85. Binance is at $1. All right. So stable coins are kind of like this. Imagine if you're in the pool, and there's a bunch of kids playing around and splashing around. That's, all the other tokens. You're having fun. Everything's volatile. Water's being kicked up around everywhere. But then the lifeguard calls the adult swim. Things get a little too rowdy, and everybody goes to the side of the pool. They go to the hot dog stand, the concession stand. They get the little Lycomade sticks with the powder, and they take a chill. And that's what people do whenever things get really volatile. And a lot of times when they are way, way up and going on a bull run, they'll cash out into the stable coins, not cash out into dollars and into fiat currency. They cash out into stable coins to take a chill for a while on the side of the pool during adult swim. And a lot of times they will take those stable coins and they will go to a little more calm pool, say for instance like Curve Finance or something like that, and put them in stable coin interest earning accounts and stuff like that with their gains. So that's the kind of the purpose of stable coins, is that it's a little bit of a cash out device and a placeholder, an adult swim. So yeah. All right, so let's go on down. We got Polygon $1.58. Algorand, I need to cover Algorand. I've never really talked about it. And I keep hearing it, and I don't really know what Algorand does. Cosmos 3573. Internet Computer and World Coin, like to me, are like the biggest World Economic Forum sponsored type of dystopian Big Brother watching you jokes. And I'm so glad to see WorldCoin and Internet Computer get kicked down. I don't know where WorldCoin is. I don't want to give them too much uh, play and airtime. I just want to see them go away. It just the whole idea of decentralization is just lost on these projects. And crypto is about freedom. It's about anti-censorship. It's about decentralization. And it's what it should be about. And then you get these guys come in, these World Economic Forum sponsored, total dystopian centralization tendency type of tokens come in, like Steve Buscemi with his skateboard. How do you do, fellow kids? Trying to perpetrate and then really gather all our information. I mean, for instance, WorldCoin, it uses your eyeball in order to verify your wallet. I mean, that completely defeats the purpose of pseudonymity, and the what cryptocurrency is supposed to be about. And I feel like I'm kind of bitching this morning. I'm sorry, guys, but I kind of am. Oh man. So anyway, and then there's Theta Network, $6.56 here. There's a lot of stuff going on the Theta pipeline. Liquidity says Adult Swim is excellent TV, sir. It absolutely is. I'm kind of a product of Adult Swim TV. Anyway, Theta Network, I believe Theta is going, they have like 5 patents on their product. They have validators with Google, Samsung, Sony, Lionsgate Studios, CAA Talent Agency, which is the talent agency for all the Hollywood, muckety mucks. Katy Perry has NFT platform. There's so much stuff going on there, but I used to broadcast on Theta Network up until recently, and it worked pretty good, and I had formed a pretty good community that would comment and talk on my video stream, but I was starting to have some configuration issues. I think it was me, really, and I just didn't really have the time to go sit there and like mess with support and all that stuff. So I ended up just streaming on Float here, and I really love the ethos of Float, the whole idea of that it's on the IPFS network, that it can't be shut down through a central gateway, that is also kind of decentralized in a way, not in the same way that Theta is. But that it's its whole anti-censorship stance, that it's Bitcoin compatible, and that it's the underdog, and that there really is no big sponsors like Sony and Samsung and Google and Apple and all that stuff. Not sponsors, but validators and stuff like that. So I want to support Float Network, float.app. But I'm still heavily invested in Theta Network, and I'm still holding those coins. I'm still staking them. Because I do believe that it will be a moneymaker in the future. I can do my broadcasts and everything through Float because of the ideals, but I really want to make some money, and I'm sure you all do too. That's why we're in this as well. Yes, I do love the tech, and I love the whole ideals of it. But at the same time, I want to build some multi-generational wealth, and I'm sure you do too. Ain't working for free. Anyway, so let's go to this article I read last night. Yesterday, I was in a meeting. Well, I wasn't in a meeting. I was kind of listening in on a meeting and with a bankless DAO, and they were talking is just level 2 roll holders. I'm not a roll holder, but I'm kind of one of the people in the AV Guild, and I've been there since the beginning of the AV Guild. And I listen in on the meetings just so I can keep up on what's going on. And I was listening in on my commute home, and I try to drive. I'm not gonna be one of those people sitting there on my phone. Oh shit! I'm gonna be just driving. So I don't really poke in. I just listen and stay in the background. A lot of times at meetings, anyway. I'm still, I don't know. I'm actually kind of shy. I got my little, happy space right here. But like whenever I am in social situations and in person or in meetings and stuff like that, I'm not really good at etiquette about when and how to contribute in a conversation. So a lot of times I end up coming off pretty awkward. This is like my little happy place and stuff. Anyway, so the idea, the conversation came up, like if you're in a DAO, you're earning that DAO token, like bank token or whatever DAO you're in, maker DAO, maker token. You may, I don't know if you earn that or not, but whenever you do tasks and you are working in a DAO is a flat structure, a horizontal structure, and it's a there's no CEO, no HR department, no accounting department. They have a bunch of guilds a lot of times, and whenever you do tasks, and then whenever they have season payouts and stuff like that, you get a portion of those, but you get it in the DAO token. For instance, in the bankless DAO, you get it in the bank token, which is cool, And I did pretty well during this season payout, but well, I don't want to spend those bank tokens, and I have my 40-hour a week job. I so all my life is paid for, and all my money and my bills and my everything for my family comes out of my real job. And then all this money I make in crypto, my gains, my yield farming, my DAO income from all the stuff that I do there, all that's just saved. And I hate to spend tokens, and then I especially hate to spend the tokens of the projects that I support and the DAOs that I'm in. I'm in three different DAOs, and I have a hard time spending those tokens because I want to support that DAO. And if I spend those tokens, then that makes the value of the DAO go down. And I mean, it's not a lot, it's not like I'm sitting here like some kind of whale, and then I, would cash in, and then suddenly the value of the token just crashes. It's not like that, but I'm still like contributing to the devaluation of the token. So how does somebody who wants to go full-time DAO, which I eventually would love to go full-time DAO, I mean, I have my 5-year anniversary with work coming up. I'll be fully vested in my 401k. I mean, it's pretty tempting, to try, because I want to be a podcast producer. It's my goal full-time as a career, and I would love to, not just with my own podcast, but with other people's podcasts and companies' podcasts and stuff like that. I just love doing that. So I think it would be great to do that full time and to do that in a DAO type of atmosphere. But I would receive those DAO tokens if they aren't paying out in stablecoin or any other type of cryptocurrency. And then if I sold those in order to pay my bills, for one, bankless DAO, you have to hold $35,000 worth of bank token to be a part of it. What if I were to sell off more than that? Then suddenly I wouldn't be a part of the DAO anymore, and that could apply to other DAOs as well. And then also, like I said, it just devalues the token. So I found this art. I was scouring around the internet, and I couldn't really find any direct answers, but I did find this article that kind of, I mean, it can kind of address this topic. It's still like not quite there. Let me get this on the screen so you can kind of fully see it. Here, let me move this over. But at least it's a step towards trying to answer these problems. Like I was thinking, maybe what about like some kind of internal lending protocol where somebody could take their bank tokens or whatever DAO token and lock it up and borrow against it? Or what if the DAO itself could take their property, their NFTs, and their tokens, in their treasury, and borrow against them, and or put them in a liquidity pool and earn against it, or something like that. And I don't know. I mean, I'm still new at all this, and I'm trying to formulate it in my own head. But there's got to be a way to be able to do that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Liquidity says it's 35,000 tokens to be a part of bank, not $35,000. He's right about that. Unless bank hits $1, which I would love it to. Yeah, it's 35,000 bank tokens, and right now bank tokens are valuated in between 8 to 10 cents, for the most part. Anyway, so here's this article, and I'll kind of go through it. Stop burning tokens, buy back, and make instead. And I was listening to an interview with the founder of Dodo as well. And Dodo's working on some kind of mechanisms like this as well to lock up NFTs and borrow against them. And then also DAOs for their governance tokens to create liquidity within DAOs and stuff like that. So, a lot of interesting things going on around this. I think Olympus DAO has this kind of idea with Olympus Pro in mind, and the whole idea of DAOs and protocols buying the liquidity pool tokens from the people that invest in it, and then giving them a bond. So I mean, that could be something to consider as well. So that way there's less rug pull and volatility in the liquidity of a DAO. And that's kind of a complex topic, but and I don't really want to go into it now, but it's a possible solution with Olympus DAO as well. So there's a lot of different ways you could approach this, and I still haven't figured it out, but I'm trying to. But anyway, let's go to this article. In most buyback and burn token models, a network generates income in one currency token and uses the proceeds to buy back and burn its own native token. The intent is to grow token value by reducing its supply as income grows. Buybacks tend to accomplish that goal by burning affects currency and capital assets in different ways. When it comes to money, reducing the supply can increase the unit of currency. But when it comes to capital assets like governance tokens, issuance is the key to capitalization, and burning can get in the way of growing fundamental value. So there's a difference between a currency and a capital asset. So first we'll establish a test for whether a token is a currency or capital. So let's see here. We have two different types. We have the currency and we have hold on, let me finish underlining this. And we have capital. Then we'll study the components of buyback and burn and consider the consequences. Okay, so an asset is currency when its value comes from exchange, when it's spent to consume goods or services like the US dollar. ETH, for example, serves as currency because you spend it to consume Ethereum services to buy buy other assets. On the other hand, is capital when its value comes from governance or equity participation in a pool of resources. All right. So, for example, company shares are basically voting instruments that govern the distribution of power and profits. So, when a network generates income in one currency and redistributes the value to its token holders in any way, we know it's a capital asset because its fundamental value comes from those flows. Maker and 0x are good examples. Both networks generate income in ETH and redistribute the value to their governance token holders. Maker does it with a buy and burn model, while 0x redistributes ETH proportionately to those who stake 0x and market make on the network. It's a little bit more of a complex concept for those of you who might be new to all this. So I understand you might not understand the whole idea of market making and stuff like that. Uniswap is an automated market maker in which they have liquidity pools in which the people who come in to trade and swap tokens can draw on those liquidity pools that the general public contribute tokens to, because normal exchanges, they have to find buyers and sellers on the order books, where automated market makers, they draw on the liquidity pools. Somebody can become a market maker if they provide the liquidity for that. Anyway, that's going out of the scope of this. But both tokens are capital assets that derive their value from currency flows. Okay, so yeah, in both of those examples, they're both capital assets. An asset can be both currency and capital. See crypto network governance as capital. Okay, I'll have to check out that article as well. In the transition to proof of stake, ETH 2.0 will transform into a currency and capital asset. Interesting. Okay. So how buybacks work? With these distinctions in mind, let's turn to buybacks. So the distinction between currency and capital. In the public equities world, buybacks are a popular way for large companies to boost their stock price by buying their own shares in the market. Equity buybacks work by increasing the outstanding shareholders' participation in the capital of the organization. However, bought back shares are not automatically destroyed. By default, they continue to be held by the company as treasury shares. Unlike outstanding shares, treasury shares can't vote or participate in the economics of the organization. Both are circular acts. There's no sense in distributing profits to yourself, and you can't buy what you already own. Good point. I'm going to highlight that. That is a good comment. Okay, by reducing the number of outstanding shares, buybacks improve certain valuation ratios, e.g. earnings per share, etc. So buybacks improve certain valuation ratios for all remaining outstanding stakeholders in the market. This justifies paying a higher price per share, but actually destroying treasury stock after a buyback is not economically useful. The buyback alone does all the work because what affects the price is how many shares participate, not how many shares exist. And treasury shares don't participate. Okay, so from a governance standpoint, burning would indeed guarantee that those particular shares are never reissued. Interesting, but the people with the power to burn treasury stock are often the same people with the power to issue new units anyways. Maker, for example, burns Maker as it earns income, but it can issue a new Maker token in case of solvency emergency, which happened in March 2020. What ultimately controls token supply is the governance protocol and the social contract among stakeholders, so burning doesn't actually guarantee protection against dilution. The key point is that removing capital units from circulation works by improving participation ratios for outstanding stakeholders, not inherently because the asset is made scarcer and not necessarily because the total value of the equity increased. Reducing the number of shares may boost the price, but it doesn't change the overall value of the system. I think that's a really key point. I'm going to highlight that. It's the same for capital tokens and crypto networks. Buybacks do have a positive influence on price, but burning doesn't create new value. It only redistributes current value among a smaller group of people. There's a reason why companies that do a lot of buybacks are associated with low growth. Interesting. I read this last night, but I was like, it was late and stuff like that, and I wasn't quite absorbing it in the same way that I am now. Liquidity says, my pool will be a no-brainer. It's called the Liquidity pool. His name's Liquidity. Yeah. We are in the era of dad jokes. So, issuance, capitalization, and growth. Much of the cryptocurrency culture associates with the idea of inflation with an erosion of value. This can be true in the world of money, but note that the terms inflation and deflation are monetary concepts that don't really translate into the world of capital, where issuance is the participation of Sorry, let me reread that sentence. Much of cryptocurrency culture associates the idea of inflation, in quotes, with an erosion of value. That's true. Inflation does erode value. This can be true in the world of money. Yeah, when Joe Biden makes printer go burr, or but note the terms inflation and deflation are monetary concepts that don't really translate to the world of capital, right? And we delineated the difference between currency and capital earlier, where issuance of participation shares is key to capitalizing the equity of a system. Issuance is the cheapest way to acquire capital for growth. In startups, for example, it's how founders gather human and financial capital, talent, and money at a lower cost. So you issue your protocol token, and you are able to finance the very beginning of your startup, and it's basically the hope token. So issuance of capital shares. This is an awkward sentence. I think this is a typo. Issuance of capital shares, how you acquire. Are how you acquire the resources needed to scale. I think they forgot the word "are." So issuance of capital shares are how you acquire the resources needed to scale. It works the same way for more decentralized systems like DAOs and protocols. We know tokens can be issued to compensate the various participants in a crypto network who contribute different kinds of capital, to producers for their work, to users for their continued business, and to investors for their capital and liquidity. In all cases, issuance helps grow fundamental value by growing the capital of the system, which then turns into a greater token price. So it's kind of like a little cycle right there. You issue to grow, and then that growth creates higher value, and then maybe you don't have to issue so much anymore. I don't know. This is why tools like mining, proof of stake, and liquidity rewards can work so well. The effects are clear in the new world of liquidity mining and DeFi. Protocols that reward users with tokens in exchange for capitalizing the system by providing liquidity, Compound and Balancer examples, grow at a much faster rate than those without such incentives for capital, Maker and Uniswap. But the basic concept, of course, goes back to Bitcoin itself, and even further back to the invention of joint stock companies as shared organizations. Buying growth with dilution is a good deal whenever the value of the equity grows faster than the issuance rate. And as the value of the equity grows, it costs less and less dilution to acquire more capital. And that's kind of that cycle I was just talking about. You first, push out a lot of tokens. If you're really early, you can do very well. And then as the more work that is put in, because work is tied to money, and work is a representation of that money. And then the more work that's done, the more that representation of that money grows in value. And then as the issuance keeps going, the more of that issuance has value, the less you have to issue over time. So it's not that you can't grow without issuance, but not without any new issuance. There isn't as much of an incentive to continuously capitalize the system, right? As a token holder, you're more likely to increase your contribution over time if there's some dilution than if there's none. With burning, the incentive is worse because you're increasing the participation of token holders without requiring them to increase their investment. And when the price of the token does not immediately grow at the same rate as the burn, which is most of the time, burning actually decreases the overall market cap of the network. So reducing the supply of shares or tokens over time can discourage capitalization, just like deflationary currencies discourage consumption. And if the rate of burning ever exceeds the rate of fundamental growth, you risk decapitalizing the system by over-concentrating ownership at the expense of liquidity and long-term value. There's far more upside to smart issuance than there is in clutching to scarcity. So yeah, it's interesting. I never really thought about scarcity in that way because you always think scarcity is good. For example, you can reissue treasury assets to continuously incentivize productive capital, resell them to raise financial capital, or even use them as collateral for credit. We have to get over the idea that increasing scarcity automatically means more value. So instead of burning, let's think about more creative ways to recycle that capital. Then here's the buyback and make. To summarize our points, buybacks are a fine way to socialize profits from capital token holders, but burning limits the network's ability to reinvest in itself. Buyback and make is an alternative proposal that uses an automated market maker, like I explained with Uniswap, to keep the financial benefits of buybacks and issuance without the drawbacks of burning and without perpetually increasing token supply. We can do this with a protocol treasury implemented as a network-owned balancer smart pool that serves as an automatic buyback machine, token issuance pool, and liquidity provider. So all here in a nice little cycle. You have the network, you have the producers, the users, and the market. Yeah, you see the producers put in work, the users extract that work, and then they put in tokens, and then that token here goes to the smart treasury balancer pool, where it goes into secondary market issuance, and then ongoing buybacks here, and then that network token gets issued to the producers as well. So it's a similar setup as the crypto economic cycle. I'll have to look that up too. God, I'm going down a rabbit hole and I'm running out of time here. But I'm going to continue talking about this. The protocol/DAO smart contracts coordinate production and regulate the exchange of productive and financial capital between the producers and consumers. Producers commit work and resources, or productive capital, to the network in exchange for capital tokens subject to issuance protocol. Users consume and pay for the network service by spending a determined currency or fee token. And then we had a smart treasury implemented as a balancer pool controlled by the protocol/DAO contracts. So from now on, let's say our network generates income in ETH and our token is called TKN, the token. Balancer is a programmable liquidity pool in a decentralized exchange. To start, it allows you to create an index basket of up to 8 tokens. You can choose the index basket based on your requirements, but for our example, let's make it 10% ETH and 90% token, our capital token. So ETH is a currency token and token is the capital token. We also configure the pool such that only the controller, the protocol, can add and remove liquidity from the pool. So there's no people doing this. This is the protocol doing this, adding and removing that liquidity. And let's say that we mint a total maximum supply of 10 million token and deposited them into the pool along with some ETH. Our new balancer network treasury pool can do many things. It can act as an automatic buyback machine by depositing all of or a portion of the ETH income generated into the pool. Remember, the value of the ETH in the network treasury exceeds the 10% index. Our balancer pool will automatically seek to regain balance by selling excess ETH for token in the open market until the 90-10 index is restored, because the only other token in our pool is token. The only way to restore balance is buying token from the market or adding token to the new pool. So this would give the token earner a chance to help balance the pool and earn ETH in exchange for that token. So that might be able to contribute getting compensated in some other way other than the DAO token, the token. Because our pool is owned by the network, this process is equivalent to a buyback, and it has the same positive effect on price as the income flows into the network and makes it to the smart treasury. Buybacks happen in real time and are automatically managed by the balancer protocol. It's a lot more efficient, not only because it saves core developers from maintaining complex buy and burn code, but it also removes the need for special keeper bots and incentives to provide liquidity needed for buy and burn operation. Existing arbitrageurs in the balancer market provide this service for free in real time, drastically simplifying the protocol. So that automatic treasury is already out there in the form of a balancer pool. And if you could find a way to implement that into your DAO, then that would kind of solve that, by maintaining that balanced ratio in the pool. The holders of the DAO token could contribute to maintaining that, and then get paid out in whatever other, maybe stablecoin, ETH, or whatever. Token issuance pool. All right, so protocols with issuance incentives either issue new tokens as capital comes into the network, or mint a certain amount of tokens in a single event and distribute them according to an issuance schedule. Our model uses pre-mint method, although nothing prevents a hybrid approach, and deposits the number of tokens destined for distribution in the smart treasury from the beginning. Because only the protocol's contracts can add and remove liquidity from the pool, the network can source token, the DAO token it needs for incentives, simply by withdrawing them from the smart treasury, just like any other method. The network's issuance model can be executed by a smart contract. So yeah, as people are paid. So bonus, the reverse of the buyback operation allows a smart contract, the smart treasury, to act as an automatic capitalization machine. Just like adding ETH or any fee token to the pool triggers an automatic buyback, withdrawing currency has the same economic effect as issuing token from the treasury and selling it for the currency. I'm running out of time, but I want to go to this third step here, liquidity provider. Finally, our smart treasury also acts as a liquidity provider because the assets in our balancer pool are also available through its decentralized exchange. This means buyers and sellers of the DAO token have guaranteed liquidity because they can always trade against the protocol itself, and token holders have certainty about the economic value of these transactions. Balancer allows us to customize various economic parameters of the pool, tweaking the amount of liquidity it provides. One, pool assets. Balancer lets you hold up to 8 assets in the pool. In our example, we just have token and ETH. But if your network supports multiple payments, ETH plus a variety of stablecoins, you can add or remove liquidity of token with other tokens simply by changing the index. For example, you could make the pool 80 token, 10 ETH, and 10% DAI, and deposit Ether in the form of income into the pool. This also means you can make token liquid against more than one pair. All right, then number 2, the pool's index. Balancer's key innovation is its ability to maintain a set index. In our examples, this is what allows us to create a pool that's 80 to 90% token and 10 to 20% currency tokens. But you can easily change that proportion to any weight. All right, and then number 3 is exchange fees. We can set our pool to charge trading fees up to 10%. Now, the fees of going in and out of this, and with all this traffic, can automatically, in a way, become kind of an income revenue back to the DAO. But it's internal, so are you really just kind of the company store, robbing your own employees in a way? I don't know. That's debatable about right there. So these parameters can be set and fixed forever, programmed via smart contracts, or updated via a DAO, depending on each network's requirements. In essence, you can program how much liquidity the network provides to the market. The more liquidity you want to create, the cheaper you'll want to make trading against the pool, such as increasing the proportion of currency tokens to reduce slippage, and by lowering trading fees if you want the network to be the liquidity provider of last resort. The last place you want people to go buy and sell the DAO token, then you increase trading fees and slippage. So anyway, all right, so I gotta go, but all in, this is where we make, in quotes, where the make in buyback and make comes from. Instead of wasting tokens by burning, we now have something very interesting happening. On the one side, the protocol token is being withdrawn from the smart treasury by the protocol as incentive tokens are issued. On the other side, any excess income landing in the pool as network usage increases is automatically used to automatically buy back the protocol token and refill the pool. Instead of burning bought back tokens, they become available for reissuance through the following same incentive model. Buyback and make is not destructive to the market cap the way burning can so easily be. And as a bonus, the many features Balancer provides drastically simplifies code and protocol and mechanism design. But my favorite feature of this model is that it allows us to create permanent incentive models with continuous issuance while also keeping a maximum supply of tokens. During the bootstrapping phase of our network, there might be more protocol tokens leaving the pool than entering from buybacks, but as the network matures, a balance is found between inflows and outflows of the protocol token. By recycling bought back tokens into constant rewards and liquidity, we ensure that there's always an incentive to continuously capitalize the system. This is great because it allows the network to leverage the benefits of issuance forever, while keeping the economic benefits of buybacks and the certainty of a maximum known supply. Interesting article, man. Thanks if you guys hung in there with me. And thanks, Liquidity, for still hanging on there. And if you're watching on YouTube and Odyssey and BitChute, and you hung in there with me for this long, I know I went really long on this, but I wanted to finish this article because this is still doesn't quite answer the questions that I was raising at the beginning. Like, how does the individual do this without having to, completely change the way the DAO works? But this is a start, So yeah, I'll keep this conversation with myself going, and that's what I do. I just talk to myself every morning, all day. Yeah, just me and myself. All right. I will talk to you guys later this afternoon at 2 o'clock. I'm jumping on with the skateverse.xyz folks. skateverse.xyz. I'm an old skateboarder, and all these are older skaters as well, and they have created this shred them. Oh, jeez. This protocol, and it's kind of like a little NFT game, a PFP project, stuff like that. And I'm starting to learn and like all this type of stuff. So anyway, I'll have that entire team talking with me today at 2 o'clock Central Time right here on float.app. Hopefully you'll get to jump in that. All right, man. Well, let's see. Let me put on my outro music, my reggae. And I made this music on BandLab. BandLab's just some kind of open music software program. And I'll see you at 2 o'clock. I got a kid's birthday party to go to. I'm in like the land of the nightmare of kids' birthday parties. My kids are like right at the prime age where all the parents are obliged to go support other parents at their kids' birthday parties, and they stand there eating cake, being like, "Oh my god!" And then you talk to the other dads that you have nothing in common with, and it's cool though. Y'all are in it together. And but I'll be back at 2 o'clock to get online with these guys. All right. That being said, I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll put it off till tomorrow. Bye.